The episode 1 starts with 6 weeks before the robbery. A girl named Hannah robbed a financial institution of some bonds and returned them to their owner, Stephen Thiele. Her boss, Roger Salas, sets up a personal vault as an alternative to capacity. Leo Papp is the mastermind behind the robbery and recruits about the group needed for the operation. It starts with Stan Loomis, a smuggler who can get you the components you need. He hooks him by roughly giving him 7 billion bonds owned by a trio of bankers known as the Triplets, Cho Young-woo, Suzanne Grosvenor, and Stefan. They are tied together with the help of Judy Goodwin and her husband Bob. Judy is a chemist and demolition expert, and Bob is a professional safecracker, pushing her way into the group. Leo then meets a top-notch attorney, Eva Mercer, who is able to obtain all the fake files and identities they need to escape, as well as provide them with all the vital weapons. Having contacts that can fence off what they steal makes them a valuable asset. Leo asks Eva if she's really thinking of someone who could be her motivator, but after she runs out of options, he finds RJ, a young kid who works on cars at Leo's auto repair shop. Once the group is assembled, they must find a way to get admission to fund their activities. It details a robbery at Diamond Way, a row of one jewelry store. However, they almost performed the maneuver sideways after Bob received too sharp a touch, and Ava was pressured by the gun protection officer after Bob was shot in the hand. Hannah gets her start in the mailroom at her place of work with her sister Lizzie. She was promoted to senior vice president after her former vice president was fired for stealing facts from her employer's server. He was apparently framed with Hannah's help when she presented evidence to him. Hannah appears to be Leo's daughter, his character within SLS, and Roger's employer and vault location. She is the only one who provides him with many basic specifications and other facts. She also admits that she is pregnant and has some concerns about her activities, so she tries to reach out and talk to Leo. The episode starts with a flashback. Leo, who is still going by his first name Ray, is in prison 7 years before the crime. Stan, his cellmate, uses Judy, his ex-girlfriend, to smuggle SIM cards into the prison for other inmates. Leo periodically experiences hand tremors, and one night he has a stroke while asleep and falls off his bunk. The physician informs him that his likely diagnosis of Parkinson's disease accounts for his symptoms. When Leo sees the doctor's vehicle, he develops an escape plan from the jail. When their SIM card dealer falls through, Stan asks Judy to find another means to get them because the other prisoners will seriously harm him if he doesn't bring them what they promised. Stan realizes what Leo is intending as soon as he asks him to buy him materials, and he declines to cooperate out of fear that he'll go into trouble. The following time Judy sees Stan, she has Bob with her, who she first invited in to assist, but it is clear that she is now with Bob. Stan returns to Leo and informs him that the escape is on. Leo starts assembling the puzzle pieces for his escape, but on the actual day, Stan stays until they are about to leave to make sure Leo can get out. Agent Nazan Albasi of the FBI, who also has a drug problem, is looking into Leo's escape. Leo visits Ava first so she can assist him in vanishing and beginning a new life. But first, he inquires about Hannah, and she informs him of her location. He approaches her and requests to speak with her briefly, but she is unwilling to hear him out. He chases her and comes across Roger, who he immediately identifies who she is working for. He explains to Ava that he is staying because Hannah has to know who she is employed by, and he writes her a letter revealing the truth. Leo's life was shattered by Roger Salas. 5 days before committing the heist, Leo goes over the exclusive steps of the plan so everyone knows what he's up to. Bob is always a nuisance and runs into RJ for fun. Ava was talking to an unknown character on her cell phone when she was interrupted by Leo, who was heading to Roger's residence. Stan drives crates of bees in his truck. RJ asks for a gun, so he can keep himself safe during the heist, and the others laugh at him and announce that he won't want it. Roger and Hannah attend a celebration organized by Stefan and his associates. When Hannah talks to Stefan, Roger arrives, and he is immediately pulled away from the host. He meets Suzanne and Cho because the three of them ask Roger to wash their bond into something more liquid. Roger says he'll see what he can do. Leo broke into Roger's residence and placed a tool near his machine as he collected fingerprint samples and often snooped around. Judy, Stan, Bob, and RJ talk about what they can do with the money, and Stan and Bob fight again for Judy. Judy pulls Bob away and helps him calm down. That night, Roger received a name from someone who indicated they knew his real name, Graham Davies. Callers claim $4.3 million in 3 days, or they can filter Roger's secrets. Roger becomes paranoid and asks Hannah to go through all the security procedures ASAP. Thanks to his paranoia, they discovered a backdoor in the machine Leo had installed years ago to handle the vault's temperature sensors. Roger got a bacterial infection in his eye after Leo tampered with his contact lenses, and Hannah called the doctor to check him out, who appeared to be Stan using his face mapping abilities to check the face in the hallway. Ava sees that the back door is no longer there and panics. Roger reveals that the character who is blackmailing him is his former vice president, who still claims he was ensnared. Roger tells him to back off or he will be executed. Leo goes to the sauna that Roger is going to kill him because his plan has gone awry. But while Roger is talking about the situation in a storm, Leo gets an idea to save the mission. He plans to use the impending storm to their advantage by flooding the vault directly under a water pipe. Roger's security chief, Carlos, kills the character trying to blackmail him. Kaleidoscope's orange episode option rose 3 weeks before the robbery. We noticed a little bit later in the timeline after Nathan acted as an FBI agent. She's a former drug addict, but at the same time she's been smooth at one too. You can see it firsthand in operations to stop escapes. Sooner or later, she was in danger when she first saw her son Reza unattended. Back in her office, Nathan tackles all of the diamond heists and manages to improve Ava her mercer. We only have one cartridge case so far, but with Nathan in the case, we're sure to have even more evidence. When Ava leaves Leo's house, Bob takes her seat to wait for her. She wants to walk with her when she goes to appraise stolen jewelry. Of course, Bob is nasty, but he can get a cool $400,000 to help them, which means they can get into the vault and have all the tools they need to make this possible. Need help getting it? Leo asks RJ to build an armored truck that is a duplicate of the one used on the SLS. They want to start with a 2003 Chevrolet. At the same time, Ava is approached with federal help, making her wonder about the shell, especially due to the reality that she has her fingerprints on. Ava shrugged her shoulders, stating that she definitely told the police that her gun had been stolen. Ava is able to walk, but it is clear that she has collided with Nathan before, and this could explode later on. Leo encourages them to be more cautious. The pair record together because Ava was the only one who initially pissed off Nathan about her drug addiction. Nathan actually wants something in painting. Speaking with her partner Toby, she says she believes this whole Diamond Way gig has become the front line for the larger operation that is about to take place. She learns from the pictures she took that Ava is operating on Bob. Nathan then reveals to her everything that happened after September 11th through her several high-profile data discharge stories. She became a member of the FBI, but her history with a series of xenophobic cases leveled her attitude. She later became a tablet to escape. Meanwhile, there is additional drama between Bob, Stan, and Judy, with the former violently punching Stan while the trio are at a bar. As the fight spills into the street, Nathan lets his men watch her every move unnoticed. Bob and Judy talk outdoors about picking a safe, which is later revealed to be car screws. But for the FBI, Just looking at the picture is enough, especially since we're tracking down how Judy, Stan, and the others involved, especially Leo, are back. But more importantly, Nathan eventually follows her after learning that Ava is only at the helm, different than the summit raid planner. However, Ava jumps at Nathan because the cops are following the wrong woman. As Ava escapes, she takes her time drugging Nathan. When the police make an arrest, they discover drugs and bring Nathan in for questioning. As a net result of this unwanted heat, Ava decided to avoid this operation. She believes this is too risky, and she knows nothing about Leo or anyone else without her involvement. When Nathan was on the verge of giving up custody of her son, she made a name for herself with ICE and was taken away with Ava's grandmother as leverage. As the woman is about to be deported, Nathan meets Ava in her public appearance and forces her to turn around and paint a picture of her inside her as a mole. 24 years before the raid took place, Leo and Roger were painting together under their actual identities of Ray and Graham respectively. Roger could entertain wealthy people as a diversion, and Leo could break into and rob their homes. After a precise job, Leo worried about his fate and told his wife Lily that he wanted to prevent and start over. Meanwhile, Roger wants to move on, and he brings in a number of job opportunities. Ava comes into contact with Leo's fences and even comes back while attending directing school, and he also gives him a job, but he declines. U.S. Lily nearby. Association. One day, when Lily takes Hannah to a club, Hannah wanders her own way. When Leo gets there to please Lily, he sees Warden abusing her daughter and accusing her of roaming her private property. While Lily tries to apologize, Leo insults the supervisor and he is promptly fired. Leo, wanting revenge for the way they were treated, tells Roger about an upcoming public charity sale to get a lot of expensive jewelry. The highlight of the public auction is a necklace of pink gemstones called Rappaccini orchids. On the day of the auction, Leo tells Lily he's taking some pictures. He and Roger go to a painting for public sale, but Lily is contacted by a warden after her current accountant calls in sick. Lily puts on her headphones and starts working. A scenario unfolds when her guardian sees Leo and is pressured to take him out. Roger puts a curtain over the stove to distract her when he grabs her jewelry and goes outside, but Leo sees Lily's car and rushes back to find her. He sees her collapsed in the stove and Roger goes to save her, but Roger saves himself instead. We say goodbye one last time when we get picked up by Ava and are arrested by the police. Leo, Ava, Stan, and Judy are on the ship the day after the robbery, and Leo is trying to figure out what went wrong. When he exits the building alone, he remains visible when he swims out of the flooded vault. When he walks into the store and grabs all the coins and passes he has, Judy stops him and asks where his bonds are. He says Leo doesn't have them. Judy says she won't go away without her, and Stan finally proposes when he gets to the sentence that something just happened. Leo insists they leave early as Carlos gets the painting and tries to find it. Abasi and her accomplices come to test the vault, but Hannah and Roger insist nothing will happen, so don't worry until the warrant is out. Stan left his glasses in the safe, allowing Roger to make a crucial discovery. Abasi delves into Roger Salas and eventually reveals his past broadly. Carlos visits Stan's spouse and her mother and kills them after tracking down Stan's whereabouts. The next morning, Ava hits a bullet in the truck's shoulder and tells the others that she saw Bob dead and lying on the ground. When they move the bond, they drop the case and realize that most of the shipments are fake. While they are all arguing, Carlos ambushes them with some men, but the team manages to kill them all without destroying their new identities and passports. The FBI are there too late as Abasi returns to Roger with a search warrant to search all the vaults. Roger claims the vault is empty because he misplaced his property earlier, But a search of his personal vault reveals something he doesn't believe is there. 6 months after the robbery, Bob appears to be alive, but has a speech scar on his neck. He visits Roger in prison, and he becomes part of the group, but hopes Roger will discover his revenge as he has been cheated out of his money. Leo and Ava live in Ohio, where Leo's Parkinson's disease is significantly worsening. Stan and Judy are in South Carolina, but they have a bit of a problem. Abbasi is working hard to uncover the case, find out where the connection lies, and shed light on the triplets as well. Bob goes to Eva's fence to get his own territory after hiring criminals to take it down. Judy offers Stan one of the parts of the diamond heist that Bob stole for her. He pawns it, but it is flagged and Abbasi is notified. Stan has his doubts and roughly tells Ava about it. As they are about to escape, Bob proposes with the boys, causing Bob to gain the upper hand, and a large shootout ensues. He asks Leo where Stan and Judy are and tells him to start a congregation. Stan uses Ava's encrypted touch ebook to name Stan and provides him with the time and setting to meet. Abbasi arrives in South Carolina with no information as to who tried to pawn the jewel. After receiving the cash and gun, Bob heads to the rally with one of his boys standing behind, guarding Leo, Ava, and their nanny, who are limited. Judy and Stan are heading to a nearby hoodist truck. When Bob zooms, Judy recognizes her car. When Bob goes to the meeting area, he finds Abbasi and a group of FBI agents waiting for him. While Stan is busy eating, Judy goes to Bob's car and digs up coins and a gun. She takes it all as she contemplates leaving Stan and disappearing into the sunset. With the captor sleeping, Ava escapes her bond, but before she can load her gun, he wakes up and shoots and kills her and her nanny. Stan kills the man and cries for Ava. The boss is happy that Bob and Ava have turned out to be good for nothings and that the case has been remedied as much as possible. But Abbasi continues to search for a solution to the long-suffering relationship. She's desperate to dig triplets, and when she walks down the street, a risk-free get-together with a stranger on the street seems deadly as she falls to the ground useless, presumably because she's been poisoned. I can see it. Leo calls Hannah, and she says all she ever wanted to say. He then visits Roger in prison for his final verbal exchange. As Leo walks through the park, someone without a face follows him, and when he comes under a bridge, a man or woman pulls out a gun and shoots Leo in the head. It's the day of the raid, and the group leaves to carry out the operation during a hurricane. A sign jammer installed in Roger's apartment as Leo runs a comment loop on his security feed. In order to get through the hallway call aisle, they fill up with bees and overload the machine while Leo puts on a protective suit and makes his way through. They open the vault, but Judy spends her time on explosives, forcing RJ to rush her and drop more than she needs. They enter the vault and begin removing the restraints. Hannah and Roger are in constant contact, and Roger gets involved while a temperature sensor alerts him. But Hannah says it was just a mistake. He was interrupted by his son, who wanted to talk about his future. His son is wearing the same t-shirt worn by the person who killed Leo. When they are almost done, Ava sends a message to Abbasi telling him to visit the 59th floor. It's the same space rented by Ava and installed by Abbasi. However, she notices a fake wall and discovers all of the surveillance gear after damaging it. They unplug all the cables and alert Roger to the robbery. All ties are taken up, but Leo finds out Roger is headed there, and he wants to get into the undisclosed vault. Bob says he will be less sensitive now and leaves. Judy sends all the bonds to her RJ via elevator. Instead of getting RJ, they head to the mailroom where Hannah and Liz exchange real links for fake ones they later discover. Attempts to protect other objects inside. Stan and Leo open the vault, but find the second door and give up. RJ pulls a gun on Bob after learning he's trying to take all the ties for themselves. But before Bob can shoot Bob, Judy shoots him. When they hide his body in a dumpster, Stan comes out and Bob follows him. As he tries to find Stan, Judy punches Bob in the back and suffocates him. Leo insists on shagging Roger in a big way, and Ava tells him to get off immediately. Was shot by. Stan obtains the key to his second door in Roger's office, but is stopped by Carlos on the way. Hannah saves him and tells him she is taking a bond to wash the triplets. They collect robbery insurance while holding bonds. She said she did this to protect him from the triplets, as they are dangerous people who shouldn't mess with them. So hope you enjoy the video. Stay tuned for further updates, and don't forget to subscribe the channel. See you next time. Till then, be safe. Bye.